G'day everybody, Blue here, welcome back to Enshrouded and welcome back to Wistful Fields. Behind me is the home for the farmer and the hunter, which is coming along really nicely. In the previous episode, we completed the roof and the attics and the little nooks that are inside it. And yeah, I'm glad that we managed to, have a couple of little sort of lookout windows that face either side. And I definitely wanted one to face this side, to be honest, because we do have a little bit more of a nicer view here. And, if you're chilling out in the attic for whatever reason, you can also see whether or not people are coming to visit, either from within the shrouded area or from down that way. And there's the nice view of the spire over there as well. Speaking of the view of the spires, we do actually have a view of all three spires at the moment, which is kind of cool. I really like that about this location. But anyway, moving on. In this episode, we are going to focus on a lot of the detailing of the home. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple of things done here. But I might actually start with the detailing of the front of the house, particularly where the door is here. So bear with me as I play around with stuff. I mean, I've already tested a few things, so I do have an idea of what I want to do. So I'll just get that done right now. And while I'm doing that, I'll also just talk a little bit more about some of the inspiration that I've, I guess been seeing and watching on YouTube, because I did mention that, a lot of these ideas that I'm implementing, they're not my own ideas, so I better mention a few names and give credit where they're due. So I think one of the earliest things that I mentioned that I was sort of inspired from is some kind of a build that is making hobbit homes, and the channel that did that, the guy, I think his name is, or his channel's name is Chisel Chip. So I definitely would recommend you guys check his channel out, because he does some really cool builds, and he often gives some really useful tips while he's showing off his builds as well. So I would highly recommend you guys check his channel out if you're interested in, building and making your builds pop out and stand out a little bit more. And yeah, I particularly like his hobbit homes and the idea behind that. So if I remember, I'll actually try and find a link to his video, and I'll put it down in the description box down below as well. So, alright, coming along. The other channel that I have been looking to for tips and tricks and inspiration is, I think he goes by the name Ket Mole, and particularly one of his videos explored how to make a medieval kitchen, and I thought that was really good. There's a lot of advanced tips and tricks in that video, which involves sort of clipping things behind certain types of blocks and stuff like that. So I thought that that was a really good video, and yeah, I'm gonna try and take some inspiration from him with some of the other detailings that we're going to explore, hopefully in this video and the coming videos as well. But anyway, the detailing of the front door is done. That's, I think, what I'm going for. I was sort of contemplating about whether or not I want to make the these sort of side pillars a little bit thinner, but I think 2 wide is nice, so I'll leave it at that. And I added just a little bit more, and I'm just using the fancy blocks, guys, or the they call the fancy blocks, fancy stone blocks. And I also decided just on the inside, that we would continue using the city wall blocks and just do one sort of a pillar each on each side for that. I just thought that that aesthetic looks kind of nice because, you know, we basically have fancy wall blocks all around with the wood on the sides sort of coming up halfway. I figure maybe if we can sort of break that up a little bit and maybe have it stop just before you reach the door, I think that'll look cool. So that's why I did that there. So hopefully you guys like what I've done there. But anyway, we do need to move on. And before I continue, I will also just talk about the stuff that I did between episodes. Obviously, a bit of gathering, etc., etc. But most importantly, I did continue work on fixing up various things that became a problem here on the second story, particularly with gaps in the ceiling. So I fixed all of that up off camera, so I hope you guys don't mind. But yeah, from here on out though, we are going to be focusing on getting fireplaces in, and not just any old fireplace. You know, we've obviously crafted fireplaces and placed them down previously, but I'm actually going for a fancier fireplace, which is just for aesthetic purposes. We are going to have hearths and other things that will increase our comfort as well, but I figure if we, you know, spend a bit of time sort of going slightly above and beyond, I guess, I think this place would look really, really nice. So let's start, and to do that, I'm gonna actually designate this side as the side where we're going to have the chimney, and yeah, we're going to have some semblance of a fireplace on each floor. So even the ground, even the basement will have some kind of a fireplace as well. And yeah, I guess the reason why I've chosen the fireplace to be on that side is because, well, this is where the stairwell is, so it doesn't make sense for it to be on this side. But anyway, we'll get rid of that, and I'm also going to get rid of... oh yes, that we've already gotten rid of that. And yeah, this is the reason why this wall is still empty, because I'm going to have to take it down anyway to try and fit this chimney in. And yeah, the design is going to be a little bit complex because we're doing different things on each level of the structure. So let me grab my 1x1 blocks here, and we're going to sort of start carving out what we want. Now, if I sort of talk about, you know, what's going to happen in this room in particular, so this room doubles up as the kitchen, I would say. So that means that we're going to want to have I think it's the farmer's fireplace set up in here with the little... is it a cauldron? I guess it's a kettle. So, yeah. And I suppose we're going to have it sort of set up right here. I don't know if I've maybe taken up too much there. Let me see. Oh yeah, that looks fine. Let me just correct a few things here. Go back to the city wall blocks. Okay. And underneath that, I want to have rough stone blocks. Like so. Now that's not really the nicest look, to be honest. I would like to maybe cover it up when we do eventually sort of wall everything up, but We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, so just making sure that everything's going to be symmetrical. And yeah, I guess the first thing that we probably want to do is just make sure that we can fit the cooking station in there. So let's actually do that. I do have a lot of stuff in here, so I'm gonna have to make way for some of this stuff. Let me just stash. I've got a bit of hardwood because that was the last thing that I was trying to gather up between episodes. I just can't remember where I'm. Yeah, there we go. There is a space for it already. Okay, so yeah, alright. We need a little bit more space. I do have some water, so I'll actually stash some of that water maybe in here, or this one has a little less, so we'll just chuck it in there for the time being. Oh, my bad. I forgot to actually bring the kettle with me. I need that. The kettle and fireplace was the entire reason for that. Okay, now. Alright, cool. So it should go in here. I sort of want to... What happens if we use snapping? Snapping... I suppose looks alright, but maybe I don't really want to snap. I'll just chuck it here. I would perhaps like to rotate it a little bit more. Yeah, something like that makes a bit more sense. So... Hang on a sec. We'll bring it up a little bit. Like so. Alright. Now that that's in, we sort of need to play around with, I guess, the aesthetic of this kitchen. So, I could actually throw all of this stuff back in, actually. Because, I don't really have too much space to work with, so... Right, I might as well get started with more wolf meat. And yeah, that'll just chug away. So, what we want, I would say, is to start using these fried brick blocks. We have plenty of these. And yeah, I reckon it'll look quite nice with the fried brick blocks. So... plus, that is essentially the aesthetic that we're going for the entire chimney as well. So, yeah, in fact, we probably should widen all of this so we can fit the right pieces in. So, yeah, the entire chimney and the fireplace, or fireplaces that we're designing, they are all going to have fried brick and a little bit of rough stone blocks incorporated. Hopefully that'll really give us the aesthetic that we're looking for. I might actually get some of these walls in instead. Might be a little easier that way. Or not. Maybe it's not as easy as I thought. Yeah, I'll use the single blocks in that case. Okay, that's looking good. But then I also want to have rough stone. Now the rough stone needs to sort of sit about there. Yeah, and I find the rough stone has the best look, I suppose, for the back of a fireplace, in my opinion anyway. I have a feeling that I may have gone a little bit too overboard on removing some of the blocks on this side. So let me just correct that. I'm not sure if that's the right aesthetic. Let me use the fried brick instead. Yeah. Okay. That looks good. And things are coming along. Okay. Now, this is where things start getting a little bit tricky, guys. So I do want to obviously just switch back to my fancy stone blocks here, and we'll just plug these gaps. Okay, looking good. But the outside is where we're going to want to start sort of maybe sculpting. I don't know if that's the right word, but we want to start actually putting down even more of the fried brick blocks, and we're going to sort of create a shape that would give us the illusion of having a chimney. It is getting dark, so might actually go back and have a sleep. So let's do that. And then we'll continue with getting this chimney shape. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, although I'm still not entirely sure if I want to make it even bigger. It's not really that prominent at the moment, is it? So, look, we could end up like thickening this up, but I'll sort of cross that bridge when I need to. But I'll focus a little bit more on what's going on inside here. So, obviously smoke, I mean, if it was a thing in this game, we would need to be able to deal with. So, I want to make some kind of a like a range hood, you know, almost, but basically a thing that's going to capture the smoke and sort of deliver it back to the actual chimney itself. So let's focus on getting that look in place. Obviously, there are certain pieces up here that's going to have to go as well, and we'll have to deal with whatever's going on upstairs. There will be another fireplace there. But yeah, let's just start by carving out what we need here. Okay guys, so things are looking good, I think. So we may end up using less of the fried brick down here eventually. There's one type of block that I don't actually have with me at the moment. I'm not sure if I can make it. But it's an iron block. I think maybe I don't have access to iron just yet. But I could perhaps maybe use some bronze blocks or something like that, just to sort of give this little fireplace a little bit more aesthetic. But yeah, for now, that actually looks pretty decent. I don't know if I may actually end up removing a little bit more here towards the middle. I don't know if that's wise. I don't know, there's a little bit of a weird look there if I did that. Yeah, I'll probably leave that for now. That doesn't look too bad. But now that the cooking station is done, we can sort of focus a little bit more on what's going on up here. So again, I've sort of carved out a little bit of a space for a fireplace, but this time I'm going to be using something a little bit different, and I'll show you. We do actually have a brazier here, and you know, if you place that normally, that's what it looks like, but what you could do is you could actually clip the legs into the floor to make it look like it is a fireplace. And that's essentially what we're going to be trying to achieve. The only thing is we need to be able to, you know, clip it in the right spot. So I think maybe there's a little bit more that I have to be, that I have to do here. Let me go back to the rough stone blocks, and I think if I add a little bit more here, and just maybe add some down there. We might be able to get the aesthetic that we're looking for. I just want to double check on how that's affecting stuff down below. Yeah, okay. So we are getting a little bit of a weird effect there. I don't know if the rough stone block is the answer for the lower section here. Yeah, it is still giving us that weird effect. Yeah, the rough stone blocks are good if you're trying to achieve a certain aesthetic, but they can prove to become a bit of a problem with the way they sort of join up with other blocks. As far as my experience goes, anyway. So let me do that. No, we're still getting some strange stuff happening there. And I do want to get rid of that, so... Let's take a look at this. Ah, okay, I see. Alright. So we're gonna have to try and place the brazier here. Though... I'm just gonna see if I can... If I place just two, whether or not that's going to give us a weird aesthetic. Yes, it still is. Okay. That's fine. I think we should be able to make this work. So let's get that brazier in. I mean, I could put the brazier on the lower section there, although I just don't want to have things sticking down too much either, because then you'll be able to see a brazier sort of, you know, appearing from the ceiling down below. Let me rotate this. They're a good position. And we do want to try and have it centered. Okay, that looks good. Let me just check that it's not popping out anywhere. It doesn't look like it, which is good. Which means from here, we should be able to cover things up a little bit, and that should give us the illusion that this is not a brazier, but instead a fireplace. Provided I can actually get these pieces in. Alright. I guess I'm not going to be able to get it in back there, but that's okay because we're also going to then add more to the sides like so. Actually, we might even do fried brick at this point. I wonder if there is a way for us to add the pieces in. Yeah, okay, like that. That seems pretty good to me. We might need to find where certain pieces are potentially sort of sticking out, and we might need to get rid of some of the pieces that way, but I'm just trying to see if there's another type of prefab piece that I can use. Let's do that. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Again, just checking that we're not running into any problems with the rough stone creating weird shapes. It is looking good though, I think, so let's jump back in and let's try and finalize this thing. So I want my fried brick, and let's actually enclose this. Okay guys, so that's our little fireplace going on the second floor. And I think it looks really, really cool. But I think coming back to my comments around the chimney and having to thicken the chimney up on the backside, we're definitely going to have to do that, considering where the rough stone blocks have ended up for this chimney. So we'll get that done. I'll also cover up this side, obviously, with some more fried brick, so it's not so obvious that we've got, you know, this this look behind it. I just really wanted that for what we've got behind the fireplace. So yeah, it does look quite nice, actually. I'm glad I spent the effort doing that. So let us start working more on the chimney and hopefully just getting the chimney right. Alright, chimney is coming along really nicely, guys. I'm not entirely sure if I want to add like a little bit more down the side, like so, or if this is enough. You know, still almost dying multiple times. Yeah, I could add a little bit more and like sort of have like just one additional layer But I suppose it's not entirely necessary, so let me just remove these. If I really want to, I'll probably add them later, but for now, I think that look is quite nice. We're down to 344 fried brick blocks though, so I've used quite a bit. I don't know if I'm gonna need to make more, or what the deal is going to be. But anyway, I do need to destroy part of the roof now, which makes me a little bit nervous because of how complex the roof sections, the roof blocks can be. And also that we've, you know, doubled up the thickness of the roof as well, which might become a bit of a problem if we do need to fix, but anyway. Let me just check on what's going on down below. We probably do want to just sort of continue the shape that we have on this side. So I do need to probably open up the floor. Maybe that's a better place to start rather than the roof. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what, I've actually not stopped to appreciate the sunrise in this location. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Probably can't really get too much of a sunset, maybe over that way, but yeah. You can wake up to a nice sunrise every single day. Right, let's get back to it. Okay guys, so I think the chimney is done, well, the majority of it anyway. There's still a bit more to go for the basement. And I was just sort of playing around with some different materials for the last sort of top part of this chimney. I'm not entirely sure what sort of style would be a good look to, you know, try and make it look maybe aesthetically pleasing at the very top. I wonder perhaps maybe if wood might be a good choice. Maybe even shroud wood, because, you know, like if we're dealing with a lot of smoke, then obviously you would think that the wood would have been dyed black because of all of the tar and stuff that comes out. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Plus, these wooden blocks, they have sort of this strange aesthetic sort of jutting out on the sides of it as well. It's not like a clean look. So maybe I could even go with tarred wood. We'll see how that looks. Or I could just leave it as it is and be content with what we've got. Yeah, okay, that feels even worse. Yeah, I don't know if we really want to add anything to it. Perhaps maybe it's better to leave the fried brick there and just sort of have that sort of simple looking style. Or I can have a play around with it a little bit more between episodes, and if we do decide to add more to it, we'll address it in the next episode. Okay, so at this point there's only one spot left, which is the basement. We should actually take a look at what's going on in there. And yeah, so we've got this sort of little thing going on already, thanks to all of the work that we've put in on the ground floor to try and get our cooking station in. Let me move that to... I'd say I want to just move it there. Yes, it might be in the way. We can move it again. But the first thing that I do want to work on is just the top section here. We don't want this stuff looking too horrendous, right? So okay, yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let me just pick up the candle and I'll just move that again. And what I want to do is I do want to get a hearth in, or some other type of source of heat and comfort. So I might actually go back home and we'll see what options we have. I mean, the hearth is probably the best thing that would offer like the highest level of comfort, right? So, but we'll check on what sort of fireplaces we can make. Yeah. So this seems to make sense, although I'm sort of having a think though, considering its location. I feel like the hearth would be a better option if it were like a bigger space and a nicer looking space rather than, you know, underground. Maybe the stone fireplace might not be a bad option. I'm not sure about the clay fireplace. The clay fireplace doesn't seem to be a good aesthetic in my opinion. But yeah, possibly the stone fireplace could be the way to go. And if we do go with the stone fireplace, we already have one. And it's probably better to just steal the one that we've got here. It does probably affect our rested bonus here, or no, actually it doesn't. We're probably still close enough to this fire. Okay, so let's have a play around with what we can do with this little fireplace. I guess the only problem is with such a small fireplace is that we might not be able to, you know, get warmth throughout the entire building. Wonder if we want to snap. Okay, that doesn't look like a bad spot for it. The next thing is really just getting that chimney aesthetic continuing. So let's see what we can do on that front. Okay guys, wow, a lot of experimentation, trial and error there, but things are looking really nice, in my opinion anyway. I feel like things are looking really clean. I did sort of have to change up the style of the blocks used underneath the cooking station a little bit, and I figure fried brick wasn't a bad look for that, because we still have the rough stone on the back of it, plus it's not as noticeable. So yeah, I think it goes really, really well, and that allows us to achieve a bit more of a cleaner look down here as well. Yeah, I don't think I can really do too much about that, because I do need the fried brick to obviously appear on this side, and if I take any of those down, then this is going to disappear. So yeah, I think this is definitely the best that we can achieve at the moment, at the very least. When I do get the bronze blocks, or maybe the iron blocks, I might think of adding a little bit more to the top of the cooking area here, just to make that look a little bit nicer. But yeah, so far I'm really happy, and I'm really happy with the chimney that we've been able to create as well. Again, as I said before, I might test out different looks for the very end of the chimney to see if there's anything nicer that we can achieve at the very top of it. But aside from that though, I think this is where we're going to be calling it an episode. A lot of work done, and I think we're getting close to being able to move people in. Probably, maybe the farmer might move in first, because we've already got her cooking station there, and I can't remember if she needs any other equipment here. Probably not, to be honest. Maybe the planters, and I can probably keep the planters outside, or I could keep them inside. Who knows? We'll see how we go and how we feel. Signing out here, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like or a dislike or a comment or two down below. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.